Antarctica is well known as one of the coldest, driest, and windiest places on Earth. But one thing that is very awe-inspiring about the location is the dramatic landscape and scenery that we see during our voyage.
I think Antarctica is a very special place. It's a very isolated place, and it feels very special once you are there. There's very few people there as well, so you really get the sense of wilderness.
It has to be one of the most magical places on Earth. You have ice vistas with towering icebergs and wildlife in amounts and numbers that is almost unimaginable. It's such a special and pristine environment.
During our voyage, we were lucky enough to be able to see 3 different types of penguins. We were able to see the gentoos, the adelies, and the chinstrap penguins, all in their natural environment. Some were traveling in the water, others walking on land. We got to see them traveling between their nesting sites. We were fortunate enough to see young penguin chicks in the nesting sites, interacting with their mothers. Also interesting to see the different colorations in their plumage between the adults and the chicks.
The seals that we've encountered are, we have 3 species that we encounter regularly down around the Antarctic Peninsula. These are the crab-eater seals, the leopard seals and the Weddell seals, and they are all ice specialists, so we often see them hauled out on icebergs. We have the leopard seal, which is one of the most predatory of the seals, and they kind of look predatory. They've got a sort of serpentine look to them, huge heads and massive jaws, and we get lovely encounters of them on the icebergs. We also have the Weddell seal, which is probably one of the cutest Antarctic seals. They have kind of a little smiley face. And then the crab-eater, which is the most numerous seal in the world, and they're krill specialists, and they have these amazing teeth which have lobes on them, which means they can filter their food, and they eat the tiny krill, which are about an inch long, and that forms 95% of their diet.
My job is to take people out kayaking in Antarctica, and I think kayaking is probably the best way to experience the nature down there, because when you're kayaking you are really close to the water. First of all, I think it's much easier to get a sense of that you're really connecting with the nature when you're in a kayak. It's a feeling of being there in the environment and connecting to the water, the ice, the landscape and the animals. You can hear the sound of the ice kind of popping sound when it's melting. For me it's nice to take people out in the nature and see how they are experiencing the nature as well. If they can get the same kind of peaceful experience that I'm usually getting in nature, to get very relaxed and you don't have to think about anything, you're just there in the moment.
Humpback whales are one of the larger of our baleen whales. They're filter feeders. This means they are feeding on krill largely in Antarctica, and also small fish, small shoaling fish, depending on what waters they're in. They do amazing migrations. They do one of the longest migrations of any marine mammals. Somewhere in the region of 9,000 kilometres is the longest recorded migration for these species. And they're one of the few species that fluke their tails. So when they go for a deep dive, they lift their tails and you'll see these beautiful classic tail fluke as they go down into the water. We were really lucky on this voyage. We had a beautiful evening where we saw some orcas, a very exciting sighting for guests and staff alike. We saw the dorsal fins from the ship fairly close. The males much bigger dorsal fin than the females, and just watching guests' faces as they saw these incredible creatures from the boat was fabulous.
Antarctica is a very special place to me. We are lucky to visit Hope Bay, where we embarked on a stunning Zodiac cruise. Our first continental landing at Brown Bluff, with its half-mile-high cliffs and fluffy penguin chicks. Brown Station, with its full-time residents, and a short hike to the viewpoint behind the station. Kayaking at the Plano Bay, with its stunning icebergs. Peterman Island surrounded by the steep mountain range and iceberg graveyard. Breathtaking views at Nico Harbor. And finally, beautiful Cooverville Island.
I have spent 20 years wanting to visit Antarctica, inspired by reading stories about Shackleton and some of the explorers that found this unbelievable continent. It's one of the only wildernesses that we have left on Earth, and it is an amazing privilege to be here, to actually experience this incredible landscape.
I think we are all extremely lucky to have the chance to experience Antarctica in the way that we are doing. We can go kayaking and exploring with the Zodiacs and so on. And I think it's important that we also see that this is a very vulnerable area and that things are changing because of the climate and so on. And it's important that we all get a sense of responsibility for this environment, that we can look after it and take care of it and do our very best to make the best for Antarctica. And I hope that you get home with many nice memories, but also a feeling for this place and a feeling that you would like to help to look after it and take care of it for future generations of humans and penguins as well. So yeah, we are really privileged to be able to experience this, and we should not take it for granted. We are very lucky.